This is a Nekko Media podcast.
What's your pleasure, sir?
Welcome, everyone, to Cinephiles and Cenobites, Episode 6, Ade Due Damballa. You savvy bunch of listeners probably know that's from Child's Play, the incantation Charles Lee Ray recites to become Chucky. See, I know some shit too. Anywho, I was on Leviathan business last week, can't believe it, but I actually missed this. But once again, back at the incredible, I'm Monica P, and with me,
I'm Mox at villainous_kind. On Twitter, shout out to the homies at Don't Go Down That Road, John and Rachel. At DGDTR Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, whatevers. Check out their website too, don'tgodownthatroadpodcast.com. They have a deal with a sponsor, horrorpack.com, that gives you a discount on your first subscription. Apparently it's like Netflix, sorta, but you get to keep the vids they send you. If I didn't spend all my money on my mobile meth lab, I'd sign up in a heartbeat. Keep cranking out your candy, dudes. We love your show. And the Robin to my Batman.
Are you calling yourself Batman?
I'm saying if I were, you'd be Robin.
Which Robin?
Jason Todd, obviously.
You know, that's right. You ain't no Batman, though. I'm an Ofray on Twitter at this is OHNO. This is Ono.
there's a lot of speculation that Jared Leto's Joker is actually Jason Todd.
Okay, 1, we are not discussing Suicide Squad. That'll take forever. 2, oh my god, P. You're watching movies and reading fanboy gossip now?
Bro, I think she's glowing. Try look. There must have been some week in the labyrinth, P.
Oh fuck, she is glowing. P, you are glowing.
She met someone.
She totally met someone. That explains the mood.
What mood?
You're in a good mood. You're almost chipper.
You guys are crazy.
You haven't called us fags or insulted us once.
What you got planned for the show, fags?
Sinner. We're gonna speak on In a Valley of Violence, then get into some with Stranger Things and Bitten, then Mox will drop secular with this year's Blair Witch, and I'll get down on a short called Summons.
Then we'll get into sharing some of our own Halloween trick-or-treating stories from childhood, and some candy recommends. Then we'll top off with our top 6 movies to watch on Halloween.
Awesome sauce, let's dig in.
Since when did you say awesome sauce?
She totally met someone. What's his name? Just tell us. We're not gonna let this go.
Maybe it's not a him.
Oh. She don't need nobody.
To be her man, she has a girlfriend now. She has a girlfriend now. She has a girlfriend now. She say, guys don't do no more for me.
Idiots. The Slashtag configuration.
You never loved me. Alright, welcome to this Slashtag configuration. Today we'll be talking about the Western In a Valley of Violence, directed and written by Ty West, starring small ensemble Karen Gillan, Ethan Hawke, Taissa Farmiga, John Travolta, James Ransone.
He's Italian.
Yeah, as a Western, bit of action in here. So a brief summary: a stranger, played by Ethan Hawke, makes a stop in a small town, heads into a bar seeking water for him and his dog, welcomed or unwelcomed with closed arms and guns, and a fight kind of takes place between Hawke and the town's deputy,
who we later find out is the marshal or / sheriff's son, Gilly.
Hawke comes out on top and is kicked out of the town, or kind of let go by the town's marshal, played by John Travolta.
Yup.
He leaves and later is met up with a group of men from the town led by Gilly, the deputy who was beaten down, and they kind of beat him up, and now basically it's a revenge tale.
Yeah.
He's gonna get back at them.
Well, they beat him up, but they try to kill him. They throw him off a cliff.
Yes, they show that in the trailer. Yes, and
Unsuccessfully, of course.
much to the dismay,
How
he
can you
comes back.
fuck a murder up by throwing a guy off a mountain? Like, you really gotta be shitty at killing.
Yeah.
You threw him in the one place down the mountain that wouldn't kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pitch black though, so you
Yeah.
really didn't know what the fuck they were.
The Rock should have taken care of it, but no, it didn't happen.
In fact, he didn't really look any worse for the wear.
Yeah, look, and that wasn't even his blood.
Yeah.
I don't think. Okay, so that's a small summary of the movie. Okay, now here's our take on it. Ty West, he gets one of these. So in this one, Ty West is his take on westerns, and it's Ethan Hawke's second western this year. Yeah, we actually episode 5. We did Magnificent Seven,
Right.
and he was in that one too. This one, he's pretty much overall the same character.
This one, he's kind of he's like broken in the other way. He was more jovial externally in Magnificent Seven. This one, he seems like almost lone wolf samurai kind. Like, he doesn't talk to anybody except the dog,
right,
and he doesn't interact well with people.
True. Yes. So it's a revenge tale. So here's the catalyst. Dead dog.
Yeah, they John Wick his dog, man.
They John
Fucking
Wick it.
cowards.
It's basically Keanu is Ethan Hawke, or Ethan Hawke is Keanu. They're equals. I say they're equals.
Supposedly, but I don't know. The Baba Yaga is still a way better killing machine.
Yeah. So in this movie, you think of John Wick, of course, Rover with Guy Pearce, Robert Pattinson, and I also thought of The Raid 2, because we get a little subplot in this one. It's sort of more of a power grab with Gilly, James Ronsone's character. He's sort of all the bad parts of a sheriff or a marshal. Yeah, he's very power hungry. He's trying to run the town.
Power with no responsibility.
Yeah, and he's got a big ego. So after they do the deed on the dog, which is one of the things I don't like the movie after the
it's a huge turnoff.
Yeah, it is a turnoff.
And they don't only shoot the dog; they stab it repeatedly. Like,
oh yeah. Well, the first initial gunshot, they let the dog bleed out, and then he gives them the final blow.
Right before they toss Ethan Hawke off the mountain or the hill or whatever the fuck, they stab his dog in front of him repeatedly.
And in A Valley of Violence is in reference to the nickname for the small town of Denton.
Yeah.
I don't even know which state they're in though. Somewhere in California maybe.
I don't think California.
Arizona maybe, but it's a very small town. There's only like a small handful of people.
10 people.
Yeah. And so after this act, we get into the revenge part.
Yep.
And that's basically the rest of the movie. It's not too violent. Ethan Hawke, does take revenge. He shows no mercy at that point.
Yeah, and it's not overkill killings, so if that's what you're hoping for. In fact, some of the kills are off camera.
Yes, that does happen, yeah. So it's not too overly...
Yeah, it's not a violent or gory movie.
Yeah. No way... You can't call this horror. It's a Western.
Yeah.
It's a revenge tale for sure.
Yeah.
So, and the movie doesn't drag. I mean, because you're, I think, invested in Ethan Hawke's character because he sort of comes off as mysterious.
Yeah.
They do show a moment of flashbacks where it kind of his reasoning for his brokenness. Performances by Farmiga, very, very upbeat, very energetic character.
Yeah.
She does a good job.
I thought Karen Gillian was really underused though.
Yeah,
Her character is kind of flat.
She plays fiance to
Gilly.
Gilly. Yeah. Overall, very entertaining movie.
Cool score. Simple but kind of intense.
And it does give that Western tone to it. I think trumpet, high-end trumpet, and just a sort of country twang to it. I won't say guitar twang, but that country flair of sunsets. No cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No dust balls or hay balls or whatever they're
Yeah,
called.
and in spite of how small the town and how deserted it seems.
Yeah, it really didn't look that run down or derelict.
Yeah, I mean they took care of the place. It's just unpopulated, just because they do mention that the mines have gone dry there, and they sought to go more, I guess, head west,
Probably
for more gold.
Yeah.
It's still during that gold rush time. As a Western take, Ty West, good job. Ethan Hawke, amazing as always. John Travolta, splendid performance. Karen
Yeah,
Gillan,
I thought he was the standout performance in this movie.
yeah, and Farmiga, awesome jobs, and James Ronson. It is a go watch, CC. Go watch it now.
CC.
Yeah, theaters
You
right
can
now.
find it on Amazon.
Amazon for rent and purchase already.
Yep.
Do it.
Do it.
Good shit, boys. I gotta check that out. Yo, I meant to ask, but your silliness distracted me. What'd you guys do last week? I read Schrody's report and it ain't flattering. Not much he does is flattering, but I don't think Leviathan negotiations are in the cards.
Mox's fault.
Way to show solidarity, son.
No. We found a paper Schrody wrote notes for the show on, but on the back we found a poem he scribbled for you.
It was pretty hilarious. What was more hilarious is that there were two parts. The first, I guess, he wrote before you guys broke up, and the second afterward, and the tones are just so different.
Mox put it to music. Want to hear?
No, God, please no.
Your face says no, but we say yes. Hit it, son.
What I hope, what I pray, never seem to make it into what I actually say. You are rainfall on the mountain in spring. You're a ray of sun that warms the earth in a gentle embrace. Your scars litter, stars glitter on the blanket of space, mysteriously guiding us and helping me see. You are a fucking hoe bag slut. You're a whore cunt. I fucking hate your guts. You are a fucking hoe bag slut. You're a whore, a bitch, a cunt. I fucking hate your guts. Whore cunt. I fucking hate your guts. You're a whore cunt. Fucking hate your guts.
You're right, that was kind of funny. I don't know what's worse, his words or your voice. Oh, I know, your face.
There's the bitchy cat we love. Did you change your hair?
Ugh, this is a movie show, let's talk movies. What upcoming movies are you guys looking forward to?
Alien Covenant, Amityville Awakening, Table 19, John Wick 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Logan, Beauty and the Beast. Shit, probably a shitload I can't think of. Oh no?
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely looking forward to Alien Covenant. That's the one I've been waiting on, for sure. And maybe Alien. Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah. Of District 9.
Yeah, he's in the works, or in the top. I don't know if they're currently working on a new Alien script, the True Alien 3.
Well, Universal is gonna revamp classic movie monsters in what they're calling the Dark Universe. The first one is The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise. That one sounds cool. It and Flatliners sound cool too. What?
Sorry, I've never heard you chime in this much on movies. Your new boyfriend, or girlfriend, or whatever, must be into movies.
I like movies.
So you're seriously not gonna tell us anything?
If we speculate, it'll just be worse. Let's start. Okay, I envision he has an eye patch.
Definitely. The set wouldn't be complete without a peg leg and a parrot. Unless he's a parrot. Is he a parrot?
A parrot with a peg leg and an eye patch. That sounds hideous, but maybe he's packing. Maybe he's got a huge cutlass.
No, it's a spyglass. He's got a huge spyglass.
There she blows.
Oh, Jesus.
Alright, shut up. Fine, yes, I met somebody. He's male, not a parrot. You guys are worse than human women.
I'll take that as a compliment. Women are smarter and have a higher tolerance for pain.
So, not a parrot. What is he then?
None of your business. And if you idiots start guessing, I'm gonna throw that coffee in your face.
That's okay. Ono likes hot liquids all on his face.
Whatever, Sky. If anyone's gay, it'd be the dude with the Bridges of Madison County. The book and the movie. And that would be you.
I don't have those.
Son, I'm looking right at them on your bookshelf, right next to your copy of The Feminine Mystique.
Okay, fuck you. He's lying. I have the Bridges of Madison County, but I do not own the Feminine Mystique or whatever. I don't even know what that is.
Sure, it's okay to be girly, Mox. Why don't you have a cup of Earl Grey and light a scented candle while I go introduce the seg? Kicking and streaming.
For my kicking and streaming, I have Bitten, starring Laura Vandervoort, Grayston Holt, and Greg Brick. In upstate New York, in the sleepy town of Bear Valley, is an estate, Stonehaven, and it is home to a pack of werewolves. These wolves have a legacy and a code. First and foremost, they keep their secret with lethal tenacity. They live and work as a family, they follow an alpha, they respect and keep their heritage alive through teaching of the old ways and documenting significant events on scrolls that they store in their basement. They do not randomly hunt or kill humans, and they police those who do. They call them mutts, packless wolves, and they enforce and pass judgment on these loners when necessary. So the story opens with a werewolf attacking a girl after she leaves a bar. The town is thrown into a frenzy, and the main suspects are the Danvers of Stonehaven. The town finds them and their tight-knit aloofness creepy and off-putting. So they send the sheriff up there, and she talks to Jeremy, the alpha, and requests to search the property. Jeremy informs them that they wish to help in whatever manner necessary to catch the animal responsible for the attack. Jeremy informs the pack that there is most likely a mutt in their town, and it must be dealt with immediately. Enter Elena Michaels, the only female werewolf in existence. Werewolves are always born male. They breed with human women, and then they steal the sun and go back to the pack. Becoming a werewolf is not easy either. For those who aren't born and are bitten, 70% of them die during the transformation, and those that survive, a huge percentage commit suicide, unable to deal with what they've become. But that is just the percentage for males. The percentage for females bitten, almost 100% die. The only exception being Elena. So about a year ago, Elena had a falling out with her pack and decided to leave and try to return to a human life. Now she lives in Toronto, she has a fiancé, Philip, and is on the verge of success with her career as a photographer. She gets the word that she is needed back at Stonehaven, but is resistant. But the death toll in Bear Valley keeps mounting. More co-eds and even a little boy are murdered and then planted on the Danvers property. There is something insidious and directly pointed against the Danvers going on, and Elena is needed. She reluctantly returns. Estranged and wanting out of this life of secrecy and murder, she almost leaves, despite the needs of her pack and the town. But when one of her pack, her brothers as she regards them, is murdered and then placed at the doors of Stonehaven, she changes her mind and then goes all in on the hunt for the mutts responsible. Thus begins the story of Bitten in earnest. Bitten is a Canadian show produced by the Space Network and picked up by Sci-Fi for American broadcast. It is based off the first book of the Women of the Otherworld series written by author Kelly Armstrong. It went for 3 seasons, a total of 33 episodes, and concluded in April 2016. Finally, my thoughts. I initially avoided this because it struck me as some fairy Twilight bullshit, but about werewolves. So it popped up on Netflix and I was like, whatever, I'll give it a shot. So I played episode 1 and it opens with a gratuitous sex scene. I hate sex scenes. I fucking hate them. They are a huge pet peeve of mine. Probably second only to dogs being killed. Generally, shows will give you a bit of story or exposition before slamming you with a sex scene, but this shit bats you in the face with it right from the first frame. So I thought I was done with this show. And I would have been, but fast forward a few years, it's still on Netflix, but now the entire series is cataloged. And I have been on an insatiable werewolf bend the past month or so. Anything with a werewolf in it, I fucking watched it. So I was like, fine, I'll just fast forward the sex scene, see if there's anything worth sinking my teeth into. And I'm glad I did. This series is pretty badass, and it shares very little with Twilight. In fact, these are grown-ass real people, not fucking tweens that shimmer. There are a ton of hand-to-hand fight scenes, and the fight choreography is top-notch. Much better than Supernatural, which started out with great close-quarter combat, and then went limp. That is not the case for this show. There's also a ton of murder and gore and great creature and special effects. Warning though, when they transform, they change into actual wolves, which is pretty gay. I wish they made them the more humanoid kind of werewolves, but not a deal breaker. Speaking of transformations, they take it old school, which generally I've hated in the new school iterations, but I liked it here. The transformations are long and painful, reminiscent of the curse that this actually can be. And they are very vulnerable while they're transforming. So it's not like if they're in a pinch, they can just wolf out to save their ass. They can't. That would make it worse in a lot of contexts. I like the mythos of this story. I found it to be one of the more interesting takes on the werewolf myth in recent memory. I also like the societal commentary it makes, whether intentional or not, about the need to change. Not because it's necessarily the right thing to do, but because it's what needs to happen to ensure survival. And a lot of it does depend on faith in those not like you. You know, there will always be those that hate what's different or unknown, but that's because they're gripped and paralyzed by fear. And faith or belief in the greater good or in the general goodness of people as a whole is necessary. If not because it's the right thing to believe, then because without that belief, society and the world would collapse into itself. So I like this show. There's a ton of sex scenes, but you can just fast forward through them or watch, whatever, if you're lazy or a perv. But there's a blood and death and killing and fighting and just all around awesomeness. Oh yeah, there's a few love stories in there as well. If you are in the mood for a series that values women, emphasizes societal change, slightly objectifies men, trivializes sex, and does it all while buckets of blood pour from the rafters, definitely check out Bitten. Yo watch CC.
I liked how Atlanta, just the first episode where she knows she's gonna change, and she takes off her clothes.
Right. Yes, that's a good one. They do that in this show.
I don't want to tear this dress up.
Oh, you're saying it sarcastically.
Well, like
it is kind of funny, but
because like Bruce Banner, I mean, maybe it's Hulk time. All right.
Well, in one of the episodes, you know, they take their clothes off before they transform, right? Yeah. And then they transform back into humans to do their investigation for the mutt, and they just put on whatever clothes is like happening to be on the clothesline that's outside the house. So she's in like a shirt and like shorts, and then the tall muscle dude, you know, has like a shirt and maybe boxers, and then the third guy who came with them, he's like in some Lacey Doyle fucking negligee thing. I guess because that was the only thing left to put on.
Because like in True Blood, yeah, they always take off their clothes before they go running, but they can just turn immediately.
Right. And I generally like that kind of transformation, you know, like Lycans in Underworld. Yeah.
But I think, in like True Blood, like, they do it like when they're in a pinch, right? Like, I gotta run away now. Okay.
Right.
Or I gotta chase this dude. They just transform. But yeah, good pick.
Okay, cool. So what'd you pick?
Alright, so for my streaming recommendation, I have Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Created by the Duffer Brothers, a Netflix original. It was an instant summer hit. And I believe it was preconceived to be a hit, as season 2 was already greenlit before the show was even released. The show features a large ensemble. Key players include Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, Gaten Matarazzo, and Caleb McLaughlin. The story is set in 1983 Indiana. After a 10-hour game of Dungeons & Dragons, a group of friends, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will, played by Noah Snap, have to call it a night because of Mike's mom, played by Cara Buono. Dustin...
That's her name.
Yeah, Cara Buono. Dustin, Lucas, and Will take off on their bikes and head in their respective directions. As Will is riding his bike, his sixth sense kicks in, and he actually runs into a dark figure. He dumps his bike and runs home. He makes it home, but the creature is still on his tail, so he heads out to the shed and loads up a rifle.
Gangsta.
Yeah, I mean immediately too. Like
I know he runs right for it, starts fucking loading that thing, aims it at the door. I'm like, damn, this is a gangsta ass kid, even though he plays D&D.
Right. The creature makes its presence known and does a brief stare down with Will. Cutscene and Will disappears. With no real help after filing a missing persons report, Will's mom, Joyce, played by Ryder, is set on finding him herself. Will's friends do the same, but instead of finding him, they run into another missing child. With no name, the group settles on calling her 11, or L for short, in reference to the tattoo on her forearm. The mysterious 11 may be the link to help find missing Will, and that is the mission for the next 7 episodes of this series. The show is a supernatural thriller filled with mystery and small town adventure, and it is a creative story with a diverse yet wonderful set of characters and a dope costume and set designer. Cara Buono has amazing hair on this show.
An amazing face, too.
And it's still early 80s, so they do good, in my opinion, by not referencing much for nostalgic reasons. But if anything, they're just referencing current events. And if it's nostalgia you're looking for, just look closely and you'll see it. I saw Trapper Keeper in there. And I know Trapper Keepers went that far back, but it was cool. And the story is mostly original, but it does parallel with a lot of 80s cinema, mostly the good parts of it. It most definitely pays tribute to the likes of E.T. and the Goonies.
Yep.
And many other films focus on a group of kids who sought fantasy and adventure. The music choices on the show too are good, a lot of it coming off of late 1970s playlists, and the theme song for the Stranger Things is tight. Very heavy on the synth and electronica. So if you like a mystery thriller, supernatural events, and imaginative adventure, but nothing too dark and family friendly.
But there's definitely a creature.
There's definitely a creature.
And it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. Check out Stranger Things. And hurry too, season 2 comes out in January. Yo, watch CC.
What has Adam Wingard done?
VHS 1 and 2, the new Blair Witch, and the awesomely weird The Guest.
Yeah, that was an odd one. Fantastic
I know.
presentation. Weird story, it often would shift in tone and dynamics, but entertaining to watch nonetheless.
Yeah, watch his movies. Check out his work.
Secular.
Whoa. I feel like we're glossing over this business of your new gentleman caller.
Gentleman caller, like the glass menagerie. Now I picture Annika with like a gimpy leg at her mother's house starting a collection of creepy figurines.
Give us a name at least.
Fine, your new name is Jessica.
Hilarious. Is he a Cenobite?
Maybe she slummed it with one of the pit souls. Gross.
He's an eremite. Can we do the seg?
What's an eremite?
They look like bone dragons, like the bad guy in Golden Child, but they wear human skin and are responsible for getting the devices to idiots like us who go searching for them.
Oh shit, the guy we got the box from was a bone dragon? Fuck.
Yes, very special. Secular insanity.
On today's Secular Insanity, we have Blair Witch, directed by Adam Wingard, written by Simon Barrett, starring a bunch of people we don't really give a shit about. This marks the 9th time Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett have worked together as director and writer respectively. Before that, Wingard worked often with writer E.L. Katz, who went on to direct the awesome-ass 2013 film Cheap Thrills. Okay, before I start crying about spilt milk that turned into cottage cheese that I fed my inner child, I'll give a synopsis for the few that haven't seen this 2016 sequel. In 2014, James, a paramedic, finds what he thinks is evidence online as to the whereabouts of his long-missing sister Heather, played by Heather Donahue in 1999's The Blair Witch Project. He convinces his best friend Peter and Peter's girlfriend Ashley to accompany him on a camping trip to try to find the mysterious house in the woods. Their friend, Lisa, a film student, agrees to tag along and film this potential monumentous revelation. So their first stop is at the home of Lane and Talia, the locals who found evidence of the house and posted it online. Talia is played by Valerie Curry, an actress I think we should keep our eye on. She's been in Veronica Mars, House of Lies, The Following, Amazon's reboot of The Tick. Thank you all who voted for the show. You can follow her on Twitter at Valerie_Curry. Valerie is spelled Valerie. Anyway, Lane and Talia agreed to show James and company where they found the footage they posted online, but only if they're allowed to tag along on their little camping trip of sorts. So James reluctantly agrees. They all load up into their cars and head for Black Hills. I don't know about you guys, but I do not like the sound of Black Hills. You want me to spend the weekend walking around a racist mountain looking for a witch that eats children? Pass. So, blah, 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 they get there, they park, and they start hiking. They get to the Tappy East Creek, where it was rumored in 1825 a pale hand pulled a little girl into it and her body was never found. So they remove their shoes and cross. They all make it across fine except for Ashley, Peter's girlfriend. She stabs the sole of her foot on something underwater. Lucky for her, James is a paramedic, so he bandages and disinfects her wound and they all push on. They find a place to set up camp. Peter is the only one who can't set up his fucking tent, so already these two, Peter and his girlfriend Ashley, have established themselves as the weak links. Although Peter is the only one with the good sense enough not to trust Lane and Talia, the two locals. I'll get to that in a bit, but as a goddamn rule, never ever ever trust the locals. And for fuck's sake, don't go camping with them. If locals can't profit off you, they want nothing more than lead you into the mouth of madness. Blah blah, over campfire and hot dogs, Lane shares more creepy stories about the Blair Witch. Miss Kedward if you're nasty. Peter is just dripping with disdain for the locals. The local lore, this trip, everything. He explains he was here back in Black Hills in 99 after Heather and the crew went missing, along with about 100 other people, all searching and combing the fuck out of these woods. No witch, no house, no nothing. To which Lane replies, maybe it's about the darkness. You gotta spend the night in the woods. And with that, they all decide to turn in. During the night, of fucking course, they hear strange noises. Lisa comes running over to James' tent and hops in with him. Until this point, I thought that James and Lisa were a thing because he is obviously into her. I think that's probably why he agreed to let her document this whole thing. You know, although he's seemingly uncomfortable with it. And I know Peter is uncomfortable with it. But anyway, after realizing they weren't already a couple, I was hoping Adam Wingard would take the movie in a sicker direction from here. James set this whole thing up as a ruse to get Lisa into the forest so he could rape and torture her and then string her up to a tree like the town did to the Blair Witch. Then he'd murder his friends and blame it all on the mysterious witch. Then, as he's about to get away, his GPS leads him to the house in the woods. In the house, he finds his sister Heather, her crew, and his friends, all tattered and ghastly, and all waiting for him. He drops his camera and runs for the door, but a shadowy creature snatches him and slams against the corner of the room, pinning him. He screams and writhes, but he's trapped. A ghastly, bloodied, naked Lisa glides toward him. He screams her name over and over, Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. Camera blacks out. We hear him screaming and screaming her name, pleading, Lisa, Lisa, no, please, Lisa. Camera turns back on, and we see Lisa tearing his limbs off and tossing them. His limbs fly past the camera until finally she tears his head off and flings it. His head hits the camera, black, boom, title crawl. Credits soundtrack by Dying Fetus's Streaks of Blood. But that's not what happened. Yes, my version is schlocky. No, it does not make sense. But fuck, it would be awesome. Here's what actually happened. During the night, they hear noises. Lisa runs to James' tent. Talia says Lane is missing. James and Talia go off into the woods looking for him. They find him. He's freaked out. They go back to camp and go to sleep. They all wake up super late at like 2 p.m. They find the Blair Witch logos hanging from the trees. They all get freaked out and decide to leave. On the trail out of the woods, Lisa discovers that Lane made the Blair Witch logos and strung them on the trees to scare them. The group gets pissed and tells Talia and Lane to fuck off and go their own way. As I've said before, you can't trust the locals. Duh. James and company use his GPS to track their way back to the car, but it winds up taking them in a circle back to the campsite. Ashley's foot begins hurting too badly, so they have to set up camp again and let her rest. It's getting dark. Peter decides he'll go and fetch firewood because he's such a competent woodsman. Well, Peter goes missing. He panics in the darkness as his flashlight fails. Then a tree falls on him. Then something pulls him off into the ever after. Also, Ashley has something growing inside her leg stemming from her foot wound. It's super gross. James goes off in search of Peter, screaming his name repeatedly. That's a recurring thing in this film, people screaming other people's name in the dark. Peter! Lisa! Ashley! James! John Boy! Marco! Paulo! Suddenly, Lane and Talia come running out of the brush into camp, claiming it's been 5 days since their group separated. Lane runs off into the darkness by himself, not wanting to stick around James because him and his company are cursed. So the group decides to get some rest. Logical. Lisa is woken by her alarm that goes off, which oddly did not wake her the previous morning. The time says 7 a.m., but it's still pitch black. They exit their tents and find bigger Blair Witch logos hanging from the trees this time. I tell you, that crafty witch sure knows how to market her brand. Ashley gets out of her tent. She sees the logos and some rock piles on the ground, and she starts freaking out. She accuses Talia of doing this. More screaming. Ashley grabs one of the logos and breaks it in half, which I guess causes Talia to get broken in half too. More screaming. The last three, James, Lisa, and Ashley, get separated as they run screaming into the woods. More screaming, more screaming, more screaming. I'll let you guys finish the movie and enjoy the anticlimactic ending for yourselves. Breakdown? Watch this movie, especially if you like found footage or if you like the Blair Witch Project. This film does not have the first movie's gimmick going for it, which severely undercuts its ability to terrify, but it's still a more than watchable flick. The characters are more likable, they are more equipped, they have GoPros mounted to all the characters, they have walkie-talkies, GPS, and a drone, none of which make a difference, obviously, but there's some cool aerial shots, and for most people, technology represents an illusion of safety. So fuck it, I'd buy that for $1. Now, while basically a regurgitation of the original, I'm thinking Adam Wingard only signed on to do this, so they let him do cooler movies later like the remakes of I Saw the Devil and Death Note. The filmic and cinematic quality of this film are far superior to the original. The camera is still shaky as fuck, and 10% of the movie is mud, rocks, and somebody's shoes. But the writer, Simon Barrett, does a good job of characterization and expounding on the original mythos of the Blair Witch. So, if you are in the mood for a horror film that builds slowly, not much happens, lots of name screaming, arguing, and an ending that underwhelms, definitely check out Blair Witch. You'll watch CC.
That's one too many cameras. I can't really tell if you liked it or not. It sounded kind of like a backhanded recommend.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed up on that one. You should definitely check it out, but I guess I feel disappointed by Adam Wingard, the savior of horror. Watch it though. Definitely watch it.
So who found all the footage?
The director.
He put it all together?
Yes.
Well, where did he find this footage?
I don't know, behind the 7-Eleven. Who cares? Look, it's a particular style of presentation, and pretty cool if done well.
I still don't get it. Annie Boo, what you got for the shortest straw?
This one is called...
It doesn't matter what this one's called.
I'm pretty sure that's not the line.
As I was saying, this one's called Summons.
I didn't get a chance to see the last one you talked on. But Air, kick a puppy, what the hell was that?
Freaky, huh? This one was sort of offbeat as well. A little less graphic, but still a compelling story.
Whatever you say, the shortest straw.
Alright, for this shortest straw, I have the film Summons, directed and written by Jeremy Bartle. Summons is a dark mystery sci-fi thriller focused on Creston, played by Jason Douglas. Now, Creston is a real estate agent who seems a bit overworked. We get that idea through the establishing shot, so we know right away what's going on. He's a bit crass with his coworker, and there's a bit of history with that, considering how his coworker brings up, other things that may imply just that. He encounters a mysterious light later that shines upon him and speaks to him, kind of like a spotlight. Is it aliens? Is it in his head? I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. But now another subplot or storyline comes up in the short that brings up a murder of someone. Now the focus isn't on the murder or the person, but rather on the detective. I'd like to point out though that the detective serves himself a cup of coffee in the deceased house and gives his colleague a cup as well. He sits down at the dinner table and lights up a cigarette. I don't know if that kind of stuff is okay, but I guess the guy's dead anyway, so have at it, detective. I thought that was funny. But the point of that scene though was the detective kind of gives his 2 cents on the killing and other recent killings and how they kind of correlate to each other. This might have something to do with the light that Creston encountered earlier, and the light does come up again as well later in the short. But without giving too much away, the film is only about 24 minutes, but it does explore a sort of inevitable cycle of nature and fate with a bit of free will. It has a set of creepy undertones with a dark foreground, and it's enough to get you through the film and leave you with more questions than answers though. This movie was a short side project for Jeremy Bartle while his feature full-length was still in the works. Summons was successfully funded through Kickstarter in May 2012. Check out Summons through Vimeo. You'll watch CC.
Any plans for this Hallows Eve?
I'll be purging trick-or-treaters tonight at my uncle's haunted house. Beware.
Probably watching movies and stuffing my face with candy and passing out.
Both of you sound boring. I'll be tearing it up in the Leviathan.
With who?
Yeah, what's her name?
Piss off! I told you he's a he. Meanwhile, you're as she gets. What's on this next thing?
We're not gonna let this go. Alright. We have a couple stories to tell.
Yeah, real stories from actual events on Halloween. Not like scary stories.
Yeah.
Like found footage type stuff?
No, it's not like that.
Care to explain?
Well, again, you see...
Shut it! Schrody's ladder.
So, an eremite, huh?
Bone dragon.
Boner.
Boned.
He plays the trombone.
'Cause he's a bone thug.
Idiots.
Alright, welcome to this Schrody's Ladder. One will go over some safety tips to consider when going out trick-or-treating. Then we're going to share a Halloween story, personal Halloween stories, and then we'll end the seg with our least favorite candies. Alright, so we have 6 safety tips when you're going trick-or-treating tonight. Be safe out there. First tip, travel in groups with a trusted supervising adult if you're with kids. If you're 12 or under. If you're 13, stick with a group of at least 3. And if you're 15 or older, you're too old to be doing this. Go to a movie or stay at home and play Resident Evil 2.
Or go to some weird random girls' party.
Yeah, whether with fruit punch.
'Cause it's guarantee only punch. Safety tip 2. Stick to the sidewalk when traveling and go in the direction of oncoming traffic and stay as much to the left as possible. Unless you're in a foreign country, then I guess stay to the right. Try to wear light colored costumes. If not, wear reflective taper gear. And look both ways when crossing the streets. Be mindful of all cars, parked or not, and all traffic. We all share these roads, even the psychopaths.
Yeah, and don't go down that road.
Don't go down that road.
Don't go down that road. Safety tip number 3. Stay within well-lit and populated areas. Avoid strangers and dead people. If there happens to be a zombie outbreak, run to your nearest Walgreens. You can survive on dollar jars of cheese balls and Red Bull. That's the hero combo when fighting the undead. Or settle on a 2-liter Pepsi and Reese's Pieces.
I feel like that's an impractical hero combo. That's maybe for combating the undead on PlayStation. But if I'm gonna have to fight them in real life, I might need some real food.
Because we got eggs and potatoes in the zombie outfit.
Safety tip number 4. Big houses / mansions mean full-size candy bars. Not king size, not mini size, regular candy bars, usually. At least there may be some variety in their selection. If it's just a house giving out Tootsie Rolls, it is your responsibility to report this to all other children.
Yeah, Tootsie Rolls. I mean, ugh.
Suck, yeah, Tootsie Rolls suck.
It's just chewy and it's just never. It doesn't shrink. It stays regular. It takes hours and hours for just one. Anyway, safety tip number 5: stay away from homemade treats.
Which is really a shame because some people can really bake, but you can't trust.
Yeah, you can't. Someone gave me 3 mini Snickers bars earlier this week as a Halloween thing, and one of them was opened. So I threw all 3 in the trash.
That is suspect. Was it a guy?
Yeah, it was like a
That's probably his. Yeah. He accidentally dipped into his roofie stash of candy.
He ruined these. It was peanut butter Snickers too.
Oh, that's the best.
Anyway, unless you know the person making them, don't eat it. You might find a razor blade in the Rice Krispie treat. If it looks like a piece of candy may have been unwrapped, wrapped, or open, just toss it. Even if it is a Butterfinger, don't risk it.
I feel like they've come, psychopaths have come further than the old 80s and 70s razor blade in the candies. I feel like they'll just poison now,
Oh, yeah, it's probably where are they gonna get it? It's cheaper probably too.
Right? Most bang for the buck, right?
And you gotta call the store clerk. Can you open this case so I can get these razors? Because it's locked.
Yeah, so Walgreens employees and any other shopperette, be on the lookout. I know you gotta watch for guys who buy cold medicine. They're making meth. Anybody who just needs 200 razors, just the blades.
That's suspect.
Yeah, you should call the cops. What the fuck you?
Yep. Because Amazon ain't gonna regulate.
I know.
He wants it, give it to him.
Nothing weird about that. And finally, safety tip number 6. Double check the rest of the candy before consuming. Don't mistake a piece of candy for something that may be harmful or toxic or sexual or contaminated or bloody. Actually, look at the candy while they put it in the bag.
Yeah, because if they throw in like a knife in there or like, okay, you missed it. Sorry, pal.
And fuck raisins. Who thinks that's candy? I don't like raisins at all, but I'm talking like, you ever dumped out your bag of candy and then there's that one little square box of fucking raisins with like the hula looking girl on it or whatever.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is this shit?
See, I didn't like raisins for the longest time until someone told me it's sun-dried grapes. I love grapes. Now I love raisins.
Not really a grape fan either, but wine is dope. But fuck making wine, Jesus. Fuck making any kind of alcohol. Like, I'm a consumer. I ain't about to try and produce that shit. Only meth.
Oh. All right, so we're gonna share some Halloween stories. I just got one in particular that's worth mentioning. Well, not even worth mentioning, but it was pretty fun. So the last time I went trick-or-treating was back in the 8th grade. Me and a friend did the routes in the Salt Lake area. If you're familiar with in Hawaii, Salt Lake is that particular part of town. We walked a long ways, which was, I guess, a normal thing back then. We weren't driving yet. We had bikes. Well, one of us did. My friend had the skateboard. Our costumes were basically us dressed in army clothing, the combat fatigues complete with makeup, and I think it was just using that night as an excuse to put on makeup. But and we kind of pretty much dressed like our uncles, who worked in the yard in the army clothing and the highlight shirts. It's basically that. We also walked near one little high school. That area, not the valley, that was uncharted territory for us. So we stuck with what was familiar, not too far, where we had to catch the bus. And we didn't stay out late. We went back to my house to munch on our candy. So here's the crazy thing. My friend found a banana-flavored condom in his stash of candy. So we had no idea which house may have given it to him. I don't know. Salt Lake. It's pretty ghetto. Going towards Foster Village and Radford side. That is the ghetto areas. I didn't have any condoms in my stash, so maybe the house ran out, or they thought I wouldn't be using it anyway. But it was flavored. But that's the only particular Halloween story I have.
That's a good one. Like I said, I had raisins as an unwanted treat, but I've never found a condom in my candy bag. Who gives that? It must have been a mistake. Who gives that to 8th graders or kids? Like,
well, they mistook it as candy because it had banana flavor.
He bought like the box of it, right? And it's like, fuck.
He thought it was an Airhead or something.
What movie is it where they're chewing it like gum?
Coneheads.
Oh,
yes, he wanted gum. It's like, they got the banana. They got the flavored ones.
Yeah. Okay. So I got one sort of similar. Halloween 1996, the last time I remember trick-or-treating. I don't remember the day, but I know it was during the week because there was school the next day. The plan wasn't really to trick-or-treat. There was a costume party at some girl's house, so everyone was going to be there. I used to hate parties until I discovered alcohol. Anyway, so there was me, my best friend Pat, and my 3 cousins, Roses, Lopaka, and of course, Timmy J. Pat didn't even bother with a costume because he's one of those guys that thinks he's too cool for Halloween. Like there's such a thing. Lopaka went as random basketball guy wearing the jersey from our park league. Fucking lazy fuck. What a lazy fuck,
Oh, we can get into lazy costumes after this.
Yeah, we should. Like, the bum is another lazy one. The guy who's nothing else is in costume, but he's got fangs. Like, come on, guy. Halloween is like an all or nothing thing. It either means something or it doesn't. So yeah, he went as random basketball guy.
So what'd you do at the party?
I haven't even told you our awesome costumes yet. Me and Roses went as the Gecko Brothers. I was Seth, obviously. I'm not even cool enough to be Clooney on Halloween, I guess. Rose's older brother Lehman was a tattoo artist at the time, so he put a dope faux tribal on Rose's arm and neck.
A fake one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
For life. Huh?
Although, when Roses was 17, he got like a big arm tattoo of like the Mexican bird or some shit, the Mexican flag. I think it's on the Mexican flag because later he got a Mexican flag on him too. Yeah, my cousin has like huge Mexican pride.
Is he Mexican?
Yeah. Well, his dad is. He's about as Mexican as Taco Bell. He's born and raised in Hawaii. I don't even know if he's ever been to Mexico. But yeah, that's why his last name is Rosas.
Did he see Blood In, Blood Out?
Oh, dude, we've seen that movie like 80 million times. And because he looks like a white dude,
Is he
everybody
Miklo?
called him milkweed or
Milkweed.
güero. Yeah, they call him güero. Timmy J, it is well documented his man crush on Brad Pitt.
Oh.
But unfortunately for him, Fight Club hadn't come out yet, but Interview with the Vampire was fresh in pop culture memory, so he went as Louis. Fangs, wig, lacy, frilly Victorian shit and all. It was pretty hilarious.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Just a tall...
I heard that story too before. You told it in the garage. And he went as Louis.
Like, that is too much man crush, No brown dude was ever meant to wear Victorian shit. And, okay. So, Roses was the only one who drove at the time. So we hopped in his Cutlass and headed over. And Lupaka was like, hey, Tim, who are you supposed to be? Timmy J was like, duh, Interview with the Vampire? And then Boxer was like, all those guys was gay, right? Then him and Pat started cracking up. So we get to the girl's house. I think her name was Katrina or something. Everyone called her Kat. The houses on her cul-de-sac were crazy with trick-or-treating kids, and me and Timmy J wanted in. So we told the other dudes we'd catch them up afterwards. We hit the first house, and the couple thought Tim was Meatloaf, which was hilarious. Surprisingly, they didn't diss us for being too old to trick-or-treat. And we were like 16, which I guess is pretty old to be angry for candy, but come on, it's free candy. We're not going to get it. So we hit all the other houses, and I kept having to explain my costume. A few thought I was Sam Jackson from Pulp Fiction, but at least nobody thought I was Meatloaf. I guess because it's my skin color, maybe. I mean, I totally did not look like Seth Gecko, but whatevers. So, yeah.
Did you have the glasses?
I had glasses, and then I wrapped my hand in like a bloody...
oh, okay.
Like a bloody paper.
They didn't get that one yet. Then.
No. So we finally get to the party, and I told Meatloaf to hold the candy bag. I caught up to Lupaka and Pat, who informed me that Roses had stranded us to go hook up with some girl, which was just fucking typical of him. I guess he had a different idea of candy. And there was a commotion brewing in the den, so we flocked over to see what it was. Well, that girl Kat, or Katrina or whatever, she had brought down her older sister's dildo, and they were playing spin the bottle with it.
What?
That was the first time I'd ever seen a dildo. I mean, it didn't really look dick-like.
What side of the island is this? Is this... You told me this is like Waianae or Halava.
No, it's Kahala-ish, but toward the valley, the mountains, not toward the beach.
Oh, so that's Kaimoki. That's a Kaimoki side.
I guess, yeah, if that's counted as Kaimoki. It was past Kahala Mall, though, but toward the valley-ish, yeah.
Wait. So you're going towards... Okay, the valley. Okay.
Like, the mall would be on the right, I guess, and then...
Yeah, and then just going back out there. Okay. Like towards the beach or towards the mountain?
Toward the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Which is an area I'm totally unfamiliar with, Yeah. So yeah, the first dildo I've ever seen did not look like a dick. It was like a blue rubbery baton with a coil running up the length, and it didn't really spin that well, but they didn't seem to mind. Every time someone gave it a clumsy whirl, laughter erupted. I thought it was pretty funny, but also kind of gross.
Like, was it battery operated or was it?
No. It was just like a
rubber.
Yeah, like hard rubber. Like if you were to get whacked in the face with that thing, I think that would fucking leave a mark. So we split up. Pat and Timmy J, they got in on the game, of course, and Lopaka went to the deck to breakdance with the other delusionals.
Of course.
And good thing they didn't have turntables because he would have been on that shit all night trying to like. That's fresh. Like, enough with the fucking DJing. We're turntablists. It's like whatever, hipster.
I'm trying to mix.
Boom, like, oh.
Man, I just did you a favor.
So yeah, they were doing that, and I found the keg. First time I'd ever seen a keg.
Wow.
And
These
later,
are the high schoolers. Wow, you really did that part of high school. Damn.
No. I mean, I don't mean it to sound like this was my weekend every time.
Oh no, but like you went to like this was like a real party.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one.
Like a party. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've only seen this kind of party on like I've never been to a party like this during high school.
Oh.
Yeah. Monolo, that's why.
Probably. Fuck that though. I bet you they throw
I'm sure
huge parties. In
I've heard stories, but I never went to any of those.
Oh, also later I saw a girl puke for the first time.
Oh.
So it was a night of firsts.
Wow.
So a couple hours later, we leave and walk our drunk asses to the bus stop, cursing roasters all the way. And since it's kind of in the valley, like walking to the bus stop is like a thing.
Right.
It felt like a mile or maybe longer.
If you're in that side,
yeah, like what the fuck? Like we're from town. There's like a bus stop everywhere, right?
This one you gotta look carefully because it might be like behind a tree or like just like because there's so many cars parked that you don't like. You think a bus wouldn't go that. No, that's the route. But okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah, we're fucking cursing him out as we're walking to the bus. So the bus comes, we hop on. It's pretty empty, but we go to the back anyway because we're just that cool. There's like a waitress. I guess she just got off her shift at Zippy's maybe. Asleep in her booth. But other than that, nobody. Just the waitress and us idiots. So we take our seats, and Pat and Lopaka are giggling as fuck. Like excited little girl giggling.
Yeah.
So Lopaka's like, hey, Timmy, bust out that candy. Let's get our candy on, son. Timmy's like, word. He reaches into the bag, and his eyes get fucking huge. He's like, what the fuck? And he pulls the blue dildo from the bag.
You stole her dildo. Oh my god.
So Pat and Lopaka, they're like howling with laughter, barely keeping their seats. So Timmy J Meatloaf whips the dildo at them. They dodge and it ricochets off the seat back. Then it hits the floor and rolls over under the waitress's booth.
Oh my god.
So we all have to cup our hands over our mouths to keep from laughing. And the motion of the bus makes the dildo kind of rock back and forth, almost hitting the waitress's foot, but then rolling back. And all the while, she's still asleep. We couldn't take our eyes off the scene. Will it or won't it? And nobody pulled for a stop in a bit, so the bus keeps just motoring along, teetering the dildo on the verge of whacking the waitress's foot. And the tension is just killing us. We're trying so hard to keep from exploding in laughter. Finally, the bus comes to a stop. The dildo hits her foot, but she doesn't realize it. Then an old Filipino man gets on, and as the waitress comes to and realizes this is her stop, so she gathers her purse, makes her way to the back exit, and the Filipino man sees the dildo under her seat. He rushes to grab it and then calls after the waitress, Miss, wait! You forgot your candy!
No way. Oh my god.
We lose our shit, laughing like hyenas out of hell.
Nice. Excellent story.
And now we have Candy Rex.
All right. Some of my favorite candies is the stuff that I probably pick up or bring to
Like
a movie theater.
bus candy?
Right now, though, most definitely my favorite candy at the moment, Nutrageous bars. You know,
They're nutty.
by Reese's. If you like crunchy peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter cup in candy bar form.
Is that what that
basically is? Yeah, because it's
that
very
sounds
nutty. Yeah, it's like crunchy peanut butter. But the crispy ones are okay. I mean, the crispy Reese's candy bars. It's kind of like just pick up a Kit Kat if that's your thing. That's basically it.
Kit Kats are dope, especially frozen. Actually, any candy's dope frozen. Almost any.
Almost.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Other one, Snickers for sure, of course, or ice cream Snickers.
Oh.
I mean, I would pick an ice cream Snickers over a regular Snickers any day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is you can't. If you're gonna start eating it, you have to finish it. You can't just.
Yeah.
I'll save it the half for later.
Put it in my pocket. Yeah. No, because then you'll have ice cream shorts.
Yeah. Of course, you can't go wrong with M&Ms. The peanut kind. Can't do plain. But so far, the candies I've listed involves peanuts. Not gonna lie, love peanut butter, especially crunchy peanut butter.
Well, my favorite candy that everybody's probably heard of is Heath.
No, I didn't hear that.
You've never heard of Heath?
What's Heath?
Dude, it's chocolate nuts covering toffee.
Ooh, is this a special? This is not. I can pick up at the gas station.
Yeah, you can. It's
Heath.
It's like huge. I don't know who makes it. Probably the Mars company or some bullshit. I don't know. But yeah, that's my jam. Also, locally, there's a company called Island Princess, and they do a macadamia nut covered with toffee, covered with chocolate. That is my favorite candy of all time.
You know when you say toffee,
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking of caramel. Is that
No.
toffee?
A lot of candies have caramel and toffee. I fucking hate caramel, though.
Yes, especially when it's like it turns chewy. Like if you
Yeah,
leave
like-
it cold, it's like it's the worst thing in the world.
You know, every other part of the candy is done, but you still are chewing on that fucking caramel. Like, get out of my mouth already.
That's true. Yeah.
So I guess that's it for favorite. How about least favorite? Because I have some candy hates.
Oh, candy Tootsie Rolls for sure. Tootsie Rolls are just like.
Is that just because that's 80% of what you get on Halloween?
Yeah.
From people's stuff?
Well, and it's not an enjoyable candy. That's the caramel in a
Yeah,
Tootsie Roll
it's a
form.
caramel of candy.
It's like
It doesn't taste really like anything.
yeah,
And then
no.
it's just chewy and
It's chewy. Like you can work on that thing for hours. Like you can have one Tootsie Roll and it'll last you the week. You can take it out, put it back in the wrapper, and save it for later because it'll still be the same. Like it's so I don't know what's the like
appeal.
yeah to Tootsie Rolls. I mean that and is that the acorn, the corn candy?
Oh, the candy corn? Ugh,
Candy corn.
I hate those
Acorn.
too.
Like
Acorn. It's a peck with an acorn.
not my thing. And Milk Duds. Oh.
Yup. Oh, why did someone invent the milk dud? It's
Like, who,
terrible.
like, that's like a Tootsie Roll, but this one at least can melt. It has an end game.
Well, I've seen people in like movies, they put fucking milk duds in popcorn. Like that's their kakimochi.
Oh.
I know. Why did you just ruin that tub of popcorn by throwing in fucking chocolate's mistake?
It's a mistake. And there's like, what is the milk? Like, you think like gushers, like there's
Like
milk
there'd
in the
be
middle,
yeah.
or some kind of something like a filling. But
Well,
no,
the dud part is that there isn't. It's just it's a shitless candy. Fucking.
yeah.
And yeah, for me, first off, fuck gummy everything.
No,
I
you
just-
don't
I-
like gummies.
No. I do not.
That's my savior right there.
I don't know why people like that.
Like you don't like gummy worms?
No.
Oh wow.
One, they look like worms and it's disgusting.
See, but there's a brand though. There's the Gold Emblem brand, which is like the good gummy because it's like tender, where it's not where like other gummy brands are like chewy. Like you ever get those Coke bottle gummies?
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta work on those.
You gotta work as fuck, and I don't
Yeah.
even think there's real coke in there.
That's there's no. That's like,
Fucking liars.
yeah. It ruins the whole experience.
Fuck the not Halloween, the Easter fucking egg shit. Is that called Cadbury?
The Easter bunny you just chewing like, and it's an Easter egg. Like that chocolate egg came out of that bunny. It's filled with
That's
yolk.
the one, right? The commercials. Like,
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like
What
I didn't
the
get those though. Yeah, that's like a chocolate gusher.
Yeah. What? Fucking terrible.
What does the bunny sound make?
Yeah, I don't know. And then they'd have the lion with the bunny ears. Then it goes, "Rah!" No, not anybody can be the Cadbury bunny.
Yeah, that chocolate. That's like, is that a seasonal thing?
I think it is.
Yes.
It's just all over the fucking place on Easter.
It's kind of like eggnog.
I love eggnog.
That's the bomb.
That
That's
is the
seasonal.
bomb.
Yeah.
What other candies do I fucking hate?
Never got down with Three Musketeers.
Oh yeah, another terrible one. Oh, Mars, another terrible one.
Fifth Avenue is my jam though. That's like another peanut butter
Oh.
chocolate sensation.
Sorry,
That
when
is
you
not
said
Reese's.
Fifth Avenue, all I hear is the same line I was drawn on you, drawn
No.
on me.
Is that I thought that's Sixth Avenue Heartbreak.
Oh, okay. I don't even know the words. Just I knew something about
Sixth
Avenue.
Avenue Heartbreak.
Heartache.
Heartache or Heartbreak?
Oh, see again.
Yeah.
So I'm the guy who's always singing along to shit, but he like doesn't know the words.
Well, that's our favorite and
Yup.
least favorite candies.
And some random thoughts on music from the 90s.
Yes. Anyway, stay safe out there tonight if you're going out.
Yup.
I think haunted houses are already done with by this time. Or
Oh,
you
in
think they're
Hawaii, at least.
Yeah, because it's a Monday.
Yeah, what a random Halloween day.
Yeah. Anyway, stay safe.
Yep.
That was a dope story.
My favorite part is where you end the night sexless. Nobody cares. Move along. What's on this Sentinel 6?
Movies to watch on Halloween.
That's what I'll be doing.
We know you're lame.
Witch.
Excuse me?
The movie Witch. You should watch Witch.
No thanks.
Can we get this going? I'm getting anxious. I need to get my purge on.
Alright, lock and load, Seno 6.
The box. We came. Now you must come with us. Taste our pleasures.
Alright, welcome to the Seno 6 on this Halloween day. We share with you our favorite 6 films you should watch tonight. Although some selections may be un-Halloween related, you might at least get a scare or two from these movies. We dig them, and that's why we're sharing them with you today.
Yeah, I went pretty loose with these, at least for one of my picks. It's a habit I picked up from a friend, and it just kind of stuck. So anytime I do a horror marathon, I always cap the night with a romantic comedy. So if there's any night to do a horror marathon, it's Halloween. Although for me, this year, my uncle is bringing back his haunted house, so I will be purging trick-or-treaters, and probably too drunk to marathon afterward. Anyway.
Yeah, alright, before we get started though, when you hear this, our picks are different.
And when you hear this, we got the same pick. Let's start this list.
Alright, at number 6, I have Alien 3. I'd say this movie is the most goriest of the 4 that's out right now. Throughout the movie, people are being picked off left and right, and especially at the end when the movie becomes its most bloodiest. Now, the alien's playing defense at this point, so it's going to be messy. Plus, the best part is when Charles S. Dutton goes toe-to-toe with the alien itself with his bare hands.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's the best part.
Yeah. I feel Alien 3 is one of the 2 weaker ones in this series. I can't decide which is weaker though, this or Resurrection. I love both of the directors of the 2 weak films, but David Fincher is one of my favorite all-time directors, so I guess I'd have to say I like this one better. Doesn't David Fincher hate this movie?
Yeah, he disowned it, I think.
Yeah, it got all messed up in development and post-production, and I think he didn't even want to put his name on it. But after multiple views, I came to love this film. My number 6 favorite film to watch on Halloween is Love Actually.
What?
I won't bother summarizing. I can't imagine anybody hasn't seen Love Actually.
Just once.
It is an awesome film and probably my favorite palate cleanser. Hey, no, we should host a horror tasting party. It'd be like a wine tasting, but instead of wine, we'd use horror trailers. We should probably serve wine too. At the end, people can compile a list of trailers they like the best. Then the films that got the most love, we could invite everyone back for part 2 and do a marathon of the films they chose from the tasting, and then cap the night off with Love Actually. Fuck yeah. Blood and Wine. No. We could name it after that Dying Fetus song. Your blood is my wine.
Sounds like a good idea.
Hell yeah.
We can all crash here and okay.
No, it'd be like the invitation. Watch this weird video that we prepared for you randomly.
All right, at number 5, I have The Blob, 1988 remake of the original 1958 version starring Steve McQueen.
Nice look.
This one stars a young Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith.
Hey, Shawnee Smith, she's Amanda in the Saw franchise, right?
She is. Starting, yeah. The first one. She was in the first one, too. She was in up until 4?
I think so, yeah.
Or 3?
3 or 4.
Oh, okay. It was directed and written by Chuck Russell and co-written by Frank Darabont, who would go on to direct Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, Mist, and develop a comic book into the television series.
He really likes Stephen King, huh?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think Stephen King. Yeah, because he has this thing with his short stories are up for grabs. Like you don't have to pay anything. If you want to develop it into a film, you can.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's the policy. Last I read, I don't know, somewhere, but yeah.
Oh yeah. So what's that comic book he developed into a television series?
You might have heard the Walking Dead.
Wait. Was that not purpose? I thought you were making fun.
Purpose. Yeah, I'm making fun.
Okay.
The Walking Dead. Yeah. Before all of that, he co-wrote The Blob. Yeah, it holds all the major ingredients for a supernatural horror: small town setting, gory deaths, government cover-up, townsfolk fighting back, and coming up on top. But no sex in this one. No, just pretty faces.
Gory as fuck, though. I mean,
yeah, it is. And did you know the She was in Under Siege, the one that jumped out of the cake.
Erica Eleniak?
Yeah, she's in The Blob.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, she was also a for real Playboy Playmate.
Yeah, there's actually 2 Playboy Playmates in this movie.
In The Blob?
Yeah, in The Blob.
Do they both die?
They do. I
Nice.
believe so.
Like titty deaths or like legitimate people deaths?
No, I think one, her boyfriend was that got grabbed by the Blob, and she was just like,
Like screaming girl
Yeah.
at lake.
yeah.
I like when they kill the kid though.
Oh, in the sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gross. It's all bloody deaths in this one. It's pretty gross.
It really is like.
It's a Blob. Go watch it.
So my number 5 is also from the 80s, the 1988 version of Night of the Demons.
What?
What? Do you not like that movie?
No, it doesn't.
Oh yeah. Well, oh no, Angela's throwing a party, and you're invited. This is a classic from my childhood and scared the absolute shit out of me. A teen weird girl throws a Halloween party at an old abandoned haunted ass mansion. She invites her friends, and the demons get released from the boiler room, and bam, idiots start dying left and right. How Angela, the weird girl, looks when she gets possessed is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, dude, go on.
Another dope scene. The big titty hot girl gets separated from the pack, and she checks her appearance in the mirror, starts putting on lipstick. Then she starts to get possessed, and as she's possessed, she starts putting lipstick on her titties, like around the areola and shit, and then she stabs the fucking lipstick into the nipple, like it's a bullseye on the titty. Luckily, I was not damaged by the scene. The titty is basically useless, but utterly importante, similar to a father. So I'm glad my little 8-year-old mind didn't develop a titty phobia. That would be sad.
That would be sad. Nice. At number 4, I have the Korean drama horror.
Nice.
I Saw the Devil. I saw the devil.
I saw it.
I say drama first because I feel like Koreans make excellent dramas. I haven't seen a bad one yet. Always enjoyable. And depending on the movie or TV show, it's usually a drama first, and everything else is subcategorized. If you've seen the trailer for this movie, it might come off as just pure angry violence, a revenge tale gone into the dark side. But there's justification in our anti-hero's actions.
Fuck yeah, there is.
An anti-hero might be sugarcoating it because this movie goes deeper than just a revenge tale. It portrays the making of a monster from another monster.
I totally agree. The protagonist loses his soul due to the atrocities committed by the antagonist and becomes himself a monster. I feel like Koreans can't do anything without melodrama. I Saw the Devil is sadistic and sick, but it is also super fucking melodramatic. Definite you'll watch CC shit though.
Word.
I have at my number 4, Rob Zombie's 2007 white trash almost masterpiece, the Halloween remake.
Woo!
I've heard other podcasts and cyber haters dissing on what he tried to do with filling in the motivation and childhood trauma of The Shape, but that is the most interesting thing about this film. I want to care about Michael. I want to understand him. I want him to succeed in life and actualize his potential. I love the first half of this film and Rob Zombie's actual attempt at cinema. I love his wife, Sherry Moon Zombie's actual attempt at acting, and I just love William Forsythe and everything. I did not, however, like Clockwork Orange guy as Dr. Loomis, and I did not like Taylor Scout Compton, or whatever her name is, as Laurie Strode. So, after Michael's mom kills herself, this film just loses me. Bad acting, bad direction, bad almost everything. Rob Zombie fails to see the Michael character's emotional thread through. He's just simply evil now. I feel like you can't start off a characterization and motivational grounding in science, albeit soft sciences like sociology and psychology, and then just give up halfway like, oh well folks, he's got too much darkness and he's a monster and let's just watch him kill shit for absolutely no reason. He protected his sister as a baby, but now that she's a teen, she needs to die. Totally reasonable. There's this thing called aesthetic distance, and when you pretend to care about a character and a story, and then fuck off and get lazy, you violate that aesthetic distance to the point of no fucking return, and you generate hate in the viewer. Anyway, I do love this movie. I love it like Zellweger loves Jerry Maguire. I love it for the film it wants to be, and for the film it almost is. Respect to Rob Zombie, despite the rant. He attempted to punch way above his weight class, and he got the shit kicked out of him. But then again, so did Rocky.
For 5 films. You got just laid out. No, he didn't. The number 3 slot from me,
Ding, 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 ding.
yes, goes to Nightmare on Elm Street 4. This one is definitely my favorite of the franchise. It features my favorite set of characters. It's very gross. You know, the roach scene, pizza scene. Ugh. I get chills every time I watch those scenes. And it has Drama Rama playing in the background during Rick's training. Or he's not training, he's just practicing.
Well, I mean, practice is another word for training.
Yeah, he's training for whatever.
Okay, what is it tonight?
He trains not to fight, right? That's
Oh, yeah. He does that whole Bushido.
that's how Daniel said. That's Miyagi Dojo.
Yeah.
And when Freddy checks out at the end, I mean, it's sick. When they literally tear him apart. I think anytime someone gets their jaws, like they go through the mouth, it's never a good time. And it also is a successful follow-up. I feel that helped garner the 3 subsequent sequels.
Yup, Rennie Harlan.
Oh, yeah.
Anything. I love that you mentioned Dramarama and the Rick training / practicing scene. 20 years later, I still love that song and this movie. But I can't believe you picked it over the Dream Warriors, though. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
My number 3 is the horror anthology Trick or Treat. I generally hate anthologies, exceptions being Creepshow and VHS. Trick or Treat's wraparound is clever, though. Most anthologies use a narrator or host of some sorts as their glue device, but this film ties the segments together in a manner closer to 90s-ish indie vanguard like Pulp Fiction and Magnolia. The stories are scary, the acting and special effects are great, and this film is just great to watch on Halloween or at any other marathon.
Word. All right, at the number 2 spot, I have The Lost Boys. You know, Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, the late Corey Haim, and Corey Feldman. They, my boys, easily one of my favorite vampire movies ever. Jason Patrick and Corey Haim were like the perfect on-screen siblings. Awesome chemistry between the two, and also the most elite, knowledgeable vampire killers in all of Santa Clara, the Frog Brothers, who would later reunite in Lost Boys: The Thirst, and Kiefer Sutherland being his usual badass self. It was one of those films in which, you know, the kids were the ones you looked up to after the adults don't listen to you and you're let to take charge and fend for yourself. And they do so in the coolest way. Some off-topic trivia. The band Death by Stereo got their name from this movie. If you know the line, you know the scene.
Death by Stereo.
Yes.
I love this film's theme. Cry Little Sister. Cry Little Sister.
And that sax in the background.
I know,
sexy sax in the
fucking
background.
80s. And then the built shirtless dude at the beach. Like, come on, guy.
Right, he plays that instrument like Slash plays his guitar.
Yeah, I know. He thinks it's so sexy. He's like emanating. I mean, I guess maybe, but I don't know. You're using your mouth to make shit, son. That's I don't know. I mean, maybe I wouldn't know. But sadly, I actually enjoyed parts 2 and 3, The Tribe and The Thirst.
Not bad.
Tom Savini even has a cameo in the beginning of The Tribe. He gets killed by their stupid vampire surfer tribe. Stay the fuck out of Malibu, Lebowski. For my number 2, I got Final Destination, starring your man crush, Devin Sawa.
I do, yes. I loved him in Nikita.
The series?
Yeah, he was really good in that one.
Really? He was in that?
Yeah. It was an on and off character, and I think the last maybe 2 seasons, he became more...
like a regular?
Almost more regular, yeah.
Oh, okay. I watched maybe the first season. I like Maggie Q and the main girl.
And, shout out to Shane West.
Ugh.
Shane West.
You know, he's from A Long Walk to Remember, right? I think.
Yeah, but he's done so much better. Him and Devin Sawa have both matured and progressed as actors.
Actually, I would agree. Shane West is actually the title hero in the series Salem.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty good show, especially if you're into witches.
and real witches. I was just thinking, like, Mean Girls are witches.
Oh, yeah. Like witch bitches. Yeah. I loved all the films of this franchise, even 3, which I hated at first. But if I have to pick just one for the show, I got to go with the first, because that's where this awesome high-concept Uber murder started. It's actually on Amazon Prime right now, so go check it out while you can. All the old 90s, 2000 heartthrobbers are in it. Stifler, the dude from Dawson's Creek, not Vanderbeek. I think he was some chick's brother who might have been gay. This film also got the whipped cream bikini girl from Varsity Blues. And the only...
and Resident Evil.
Was she?
Yeah, she plays Claire Redfield, introduced in the third one.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of Jill Valentine. Anyways. Oh, yeah, and it also has the almost none love interest from Saving Silverman. She gets splattered by a bus.
Yeah, that's true. That was a good one. I liked 3, I think.
Serious? Just because Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
Yeah.
I promise you that is why he likes that one. He's singling it out.
Yeah.
That was the worst one. That was the only one I did not love on the first take.
All right, before we get into our number ones, let's share our
Honorable
honorable
mentions.
mentions. First, I got Bram Stoker's Dracula. Keanu Reeves is the man, and Gary Oldman as the misunderstood Dracula. You see, in this film adaptation, we get
White Boy Day.
background on Dracula. He went to war to fight for the church, and his woman, who looked exactly like Winona Ryder, killed herself because she thought Gary Oldman died. He comes back home to her corpse, rejects the church and God, and is, as a testament to his decision, he drinks blood spewed from the cross. Yeah, he's a bit upset. As punishment, he lives for eternity on, planet Earth. And for the longest time, I thought Gary Oldman's character was Bram Stoker. Like, Dracula was a title, and his name was Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker.
Bram Stoker, don't drink that blood. It's bad.
Yes, it wasn't until years later I found out that this, Bram Stoker was the author. Kind of like Precious, based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire. Just keep the book's title. Just kind of like adaptation. Should have been called The Orchid Thief, adapted by Charlie Kaufman and his brother Donald. Okay, I'll stop.
What a terrible title. Orchid Thief is a dope title, but adaptation has so much more to it.
It really is just a book about flowers. It's like there's.
It would have been if he didn't go probing.
Like, yeah, like it's totally like he went all Barton Fisk on this one, right? Like, just it's a book about flowers. How do I make it into a movie? You don't.
You know the character Robert McKee that's played by Brian Cox? He's a real life person who wrote a real life book called Story that they talk about in that film.
Right. Yeah.
And that book calls you on a bunch of stuff. Like I bought the book and I read it. This is when I just thought, you put a screenplay together as you would anything, you just write it from start to finish. Yeah. And then he's like calling bullshit on everything. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay.
He does. Like he breaks it down in that book.
You read it too?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So next up, Roger Corman's The Nest, because damn roaches, damn them. And Rec 3, this one steps outside the storyline from the first 2 films and takes place within the same time frame but different location. It also steps outside that first-person view, found footage style, and is presented in a normal view. And there's a chainsaw in this one. Bonus.
So, for my honorable mention, John Carpenter's Halloween. Definitely not a scary film, and also fucking dated, but a damn awesome joint and an iconic killer and mask. Next, I got Creepshow, which almost made the proper list because this film scared the fucking shit out of me as a kid. I could not look at the poster or the VHS box cover. So I swapped it into Lamb Chop's play-along box so I wouldn't have to see the cover every time I wanted to watch the movie. Lastly, the Dawn of the Dead remake, directed by one of my least favorite directors of all time, Zack Snyder. For fuck's sakes, Warner Brothers, DC is having a hard enough time getting their haphazard universe off the ground. They don't need Zack Snyder anchoring them to mediocrity. I mean, on the real kind, was Uwe Boll just not available? But I do love that film more than the original. I am not a big zombie guy. I just don't find zombies scary at all. But that movie was scary and awesome. I like that they lose in the end. I am a fan of horror movies that end in obliteration and failure. And not the kind of cop-out failure where they survive and think they killed all the creatures, but then the camera cranes down to the basement and we see like a nest of monster eggs. So fuck this already. Number 1, son.
Number 1. All right. For my number 1, I have Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Easily one of the best films by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Your other man crush.
And at the very least, a top 25 contender for best horror film ever. Mark my words, ever.
Ever?
Yes, every horror movie released up until the release of this episode, this movie deserves at least a spot on the top 25 best horror films ever. It most definitely makes the list on originality, presentation, direction. Sure, the goriness may be mild compared to much of today's horror movies, but it was a lot, if not enough back then. Yeah, for sure. Never was there a movie like Event Horizon where I was scared out of my mind in the theater and then on the walk to the car. Like, I was looking over my shoulder the whole time. What Lies Beneath may have taken that spot for me personally, but I didn't see that one in theaters. It was a rental. But I was damn anxious throughout the movie, breathing hard, anticipating all the scares with every light turned on in the house. Yeah. Shout out to Paul W.S. Anderson. I love your work.
Okay, so I was nodding along with you, bro, totally. And then What Lies Beneath?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, God. See, I did see that in theaters, unfortunately.
Man.
That wasn't even a horror movie. That was some Hitchcock light shit with a ghost at the end. It is going to be tough titties to find a movie that you'll hate, I swear. I feel like I should get a prize if I do. My number one, Saw. Okay. I just love this fucking movie and this franchise. Torture porn, protagonist deaths, non-linear time puzzles, an intense score, dizzying editing, additive dissolves, a creepy puppet, animal masks, profound solipsistic dilemmas like how badly do you want to live? Super cool villain with a badass moniker. Come on, Jigsaw, right?
Word.
The film and franchise bothers to show you the man and the monster, and you get emotionally attached to them. Some of the fuckers he kills you feel bad for, but not really. Most of them are pieces of shit. This is the Jigsaw show, and the filmmakers have the emotional intelligence, cinematic skill, and visceral moxie to deliver an epic that both defines and defies its subgenre. If you're a little baby girl and can't handle torture porn, watch the first one at least. Most of the gore is just implied due to the budget constrictions. Watch this movie, and happy Halloween. Yo, watch CC.
Alright, seems like a good list. I'll get to it. Let's see. The party starts never! Let's wrap this meat burrito up. The Leviathan awaits.
The Leviathan awaits, or your new lover awaits?
I'm about to smack a bitch.
Right. Yeah, so thanks for stopping by and checking out our show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes if you haven't already. Please rate and review, and check us out on Twitter.
That's cynical, CINECAL_MASS. We're also on Tumblr, cinephiles-cenobites.tumblr.com. On Instagram at cynical_mass. The same goes for Facebook. Any comments, questions, movie recommendations, suggestions, anything at all, please direct that to our email, cinephiles@cenobites@gmail.com.
Quick shout out to some shows I think deserve a listen. They're all available on iTunes. Duh. Don't go down that road, obviously. Basement Condition, they're a bunch of Canadian geniuses. The Girls in the Back Row. These girls, Kate and Tab, are true horrorphiles. And lastly, my homies at VHS Life and Games and Graphics. I'm Mox at villainous_kind. Stay rating, Oakland.
Yeah, thanks again for checking the show. My name is Onofre on the tweets at This Is Ono. That's This Is OHNO. Please check out my music podcast, takingtheleadmedia.com, on Twitter at TTLM Podcast. My gaming channel, search on YouTube, Gimme Seconds, GIMMESECONTS, on Twitter at Gimme Seconds. Go watch movies.
Broadcasting from the Blood Cave for Nekko Media, Cinephiles and Cenobites, and the /tag Potter family. I'm Monica Pussyfoot for Mox and Ono. Keep the lights on and check under that fucking bed because there's only one universal truth. No lives matter. That means you.
We have candy. This is a Nekko Media podcast.